In today's episode of the Talking Ship podcast, I had the opportunity to interview two of the world's largest gardening influencers. The dynamic duo of Joshua and Jose, who have transformed their lives from being a mortgage originator and a real estate agent to chasing their dreams of being professional gardeners, unlikely animal saviors, and social media influencers extraordinaire. The Mr. Gardeners have amassed a following of nearly 2 million TikTok followers at the time of this recording, and they are most well known for saving the cat Whiskers. However, in my world, they are known for their high-end garden consulting, design, and installation. I got the chance to meet this power couple last summer in Columbus, Ohio at the Cultivate Trade Show and was able to catch back up with them in person at the Tropical Plant International Expo in Fort Lauderdale, Florida in January. Here, I was able to interview them in person at the Proven Winners, the plant company booth, home of Leafjoy Houseplants by Proven Winners. They are soon to be launching their own Ship My Plant store where they will be selling Proven Winners Leafjoy plants to start, and then will be branching out into Proven Winner annuals, perennials, and shrubs. So without further ado, here are Joshua and Jose, the Mr. Gardeners. Joshua, you mentioned, that you grew up in Seattle.
I did.
Right? So, and now it's total across the country, down to the south, totally different climate and everything. But when you were living in Seattle, you were into bonsais.
I was.
Tell us about that. Is that what got you into horticulture?
Well, and to clarify, Seattle, I was a military brat. My dad was in the Navy, so Seattle was one of the many places I lived in, and Seattle was probably the location I lived in where I was at the age where I was able to get into more of the plants and bonsai. I was very fortunate. I had a school counselor, that actually gifted me a bonsai because I used to go and talk to her on my lunch breaks and things like that. And we started talking about plants because she had a bonsai on her desk, and she started telling me about the training, the discipline, everything that goes into caring for a bonsai. And she gifted me one, which was amazing, and that kind of got me into bonsai. But in terms of horticulture and plants in general, my grandmother actually got me into that. There was an empty lot in her neighborhood that a lot of the neighbors kind of had some asparagus and all kind of produce and vegetables, and we would go in the summer and I'd help her care for the garden. She taught me so many valuable lessons about different plants and seasons and how to care and companion planting and things like that. So I would really say my grandmother got me really into plants, or opened my eyes to the world of plants, and then also just my natural attraction to plants. I just love everything about plants. It's kind of funny, getting out of corporate America and getting into plants. This is just the route that we've taken. So she is my grandmother. Bonsai for sure really helped me hone in on the discipline and learning to care for plants specifically. But it's hit or miss in terms of if it was bonsai or my grandmother. It's a tie.
Probably a combination of the two. And I wonder if you still have contact with that school counselor at all?
I don't. We moved around too frequently. Sometimes multiple times in the school year. I feel terrible. I honestly don't even remember a lot of my teachers' names or anything because we were in and out so frequently. So if she ever sees this somehow, I'm grateful to you, and thank you for that gift. It really, you don't know, small actions like that have a long-lasting impact. So
right.
Yeah.
It's obviously it's stuck with you. So
yes.
Jose, tell us about your horticulture journey. Where did the passion begin for you?
It started right at home with my own mom. We grew up in a condo in Venezuela, South America. And being in a condo, mom was obsessed with plants and flowers and whatnot. So we had a ton of house plants. So since I was a kid, I've always been a caretaker of the plants. That was one of my tasks that she would leave me to do. Wipe their leaves, make sure that you're watering them. So I naturally just fell in love with them and see them grow, and I would get sad if one didn't make it or something, So since then, I've been totally fascinated by plants. So
my mom showed me, she let me plant a watermelon one time, and it grew, and I was so excited, and then I'm hooked, So,
yes.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. All right, so I'm going to ask about Whiskers the cat, if that's okay.
Of
Of
course.
course.
How can you not?
He's world famous, or she.
He is
world
world
famous.
famous.
And
Yes.
he's alive because of you two.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
thank you.
And how is he doing now? And also, have you always had a love of animals and nature, or was that what sparked it?
Well, we always had it naturally, but I'll say specifically, he grew up with cats and he'll tell you about that. But specifically for me, I had one negative experience with my first experience with a cat was a negative experience. I was a kid and I was with my friend and he tried to catch this cat and he's like, help me, try to catch it. And it was a feral cat and I had no idea. So I tried to grab the cat and he bit me and whatnot. So since then, I always had that fear of them and respect. I always thought they were beautiful, but I will keep my distance. And then Whiskers showed up in our driveway, and if you see his story, he was blind the moment he got to us, and all of that. So I immediately, how could I be afraid of something so beautiful and so innocent? And he clawed his ways into my heart, I'll say. And now I'm a cat guy. So
Yeah. It was definitely almost divine intervention. It feels like we had no interest in adding any more animals to our family. We had Mona and Petunia already. And when we found him, we initially thought we'd foster him. We'd do everything we could to bring him back to life and to health and fix his eyes. If you're watching and you haven't seen, we do have the video pinned on our TikTok account. It has over 60 million views on our account right now. He's been on the Dodo. He's been in PetSmart commercials.
Unbelievable.
It's crazy. This cat has taken on a life of his own, and it's taught us valuable lessons that I don't think we would have gotten outside of this experience, and patience and understanding and compassion. Whiskers has really changed a lot about our mindset about how we viewed cats, indoor cats, because we also have 15 on average every day outdoor feral cats that we feed every day, morning and night.
Yeah.
And we
love
worked
them.
we worked with some local resources in Tampa to trap them and have them spayed and neutered, and we release them back out so we can minimize the kittens and the colony expansion, because there's some issues with that, But no, he is part of the family. He's about 2.5, almost 3 years old now.
Almost 3.
And he is honestly a gift. He opened doors that we never would have thought to even peer into for us, and those are things that the level of gratitude we have cannot be discussed. It doesn't exist. We're very grateful.
And it's countless. I'll add to that because his story is just so beautiful. It's unbelievable how we learn the amount of people and animals that Whiskers has helped by him just by existing and by just
Inspiring.
We had to
inspiring
open
other
a
people.
P.O. box because people were sending us like letters and gifts and things
from,
for
like,
Whiskers from all over the world.
overseas. We will get packages constantly in our house with toys, letters. It's been just amazing, and that led to us finding this company with a TNR organization, and that's how the whole thing started for us to try to help trapping these cats, to have them fixed and whatnot, then released back into the area. So it's just been unbelievable.
And they're sweet. They still come around. We feed them every day.
Yeah.
Almost, I would say, over half of them now let us pet them and engage with them. So they're
it's
part of the
amazing.
family. And they don't mess with our garden, which is important.
You both had jobs outside of consumer horticulture before. You were kind of corporate America, you had mentioned, and
Yes.
how did a love for plants convince you both to take a leap of faith to just leave that for plants? Like, how did you guys get the courage?
I'll speak for my own example. When I was growing up, I did want to work with plants. I didn't necessarily know horticulture, but I knew I wanted to work with plants. But they kind of discouraged it, saying you're not going to make any money. There's no future in that. What are you going to do? And so I believed it, and I got into corporate America. We did all of that. Then when we both started doing real estate for a while, and that's what we both are in real estate. But we realized we were more passionate about what we were doing. This is a creative outlet that we weren't able to duplicate or replicate in any other areas of our life. And it sounds cheesy, but it really is the whole saying of make a living out of something that you enjoy doing and you never feel like you're working. And while yes, it's very labor intensive, but we always are having such a great time when we're doing that work. So I think we just naturally have been guided on our path to get us to this point. We haven't done as good of a job as we would like to in terms of posting and keeping the algorithms happy. I feel like the algorithms want something new every day. To sum it up, we just feel, at least I know Jose probably has some things he'd like to speak on, but I just feel like it was, the level of support and the welcoming environment that we received when we started posting content just continued to encourage us. Sure, it does help to post a video and have it, 60 million, 10 million, 3 million, 5 million, like those types of views on any type of content you create it's very validating, even though, right, they say just focus on creating content you love and everything else is a byproduct of the success. So we don't really try to look outside of ourselves for validation. We really try to just do things that make us happy, that we enjoy doing, that we feel like represents us as people and our brands. And, if people support it and welcome it, then it's just the cherry on top, honestly.
So you get to do your passion. It feels like you don't work a day because you're doing what you love. But I think you're also missing that you guys get to do this together, and you spend this time, and you obviously enjoy doing this work together.
Yes.
I just recently watched your video where you guys did the Christmas containers in front of that house.
Oh yeah.
And I thought it was so cool. Like you're both like doing the same thing at the same time on either side. Like,
Yeah.
I got this pot. And like you could tell that you guys truly enjoy working together.
Oh,
and
yes.
being together and spending that time. So
We
that's
really
another
do.
bonus, right?
For sure.
Yeah, we're really blessed to be able to do that, and I love it because I get to do my own container, even though it's kind of like the same design, but they're a little bit different in a way. Like I might put this plant here, but it works out great for us. So.
Yeah, we really are fortunate in that regard. We have friends that are big into plants, but then their significant other is not.
Right.
And so I don't ever have to worry about him giving me any grief about wanting to buy a plant.
Oh no!
Versus some of these.
That's the challenge between
Yeah.
him and I. We're both wanting to.
And we usually buy plants before we're quite ready for them for a project. If I'm being honest, we're very notorious about that. Yes, you have to
we've done
chase after
that.
them all season long with the water hose to keep them happy,
Yeah.
and then 3 months later, we finally get them in the ground. So yeah.
That's the story of a lot of gardeners. You can't not impulsively buy that plant when you see it. You're like,
You have to have it. It might be
Yes.
gone, so you have to have it. And
Yes.
So okay, Jose,
sir.
where do you see consumer horticulture in 5 years?
Well, that's a great question. I can say that I'm excited to see how the industry is going to continue to prioritize sustainability, and how I would like to see them embracing more technology. I mean, they are doing it, so I'm more excited about where they're going to be, because they have come up with a lot of great innovations, like they're implementing vertical farming, more organic pesticide controls, like and stuff like that really helps help us move towards
Like
a more
beneficial insects and
beneficial
things like that,
insects,
to where,
yeah.
spraying chemicals, using
Right.
biologicals
We
to
moved
help.
to that years ago, and now even like we're using oil
Yes.
for like the mealy bugs and everything that
Yeah.
so a customer can come and touch it. You're not going to get harmed.
That's
That's
amazing.
great. Yeah, I love stuff like that, and like rain collection and stuff like that.
Exactly. And Proven Winners is also needs to be recognized for what they're doing with their containers, so that
Oh yeah, Eco Grande
Yes.
pots. Yeah.
They're leading the charge for the consumer horticulture industry to move away from plastic that's
Yes.
non-recyclable, and so
It's amazing.
Yes.
that definitely needs
Petroleum-based
For
products,
sure, yeah.
for sure. Okay. No, and we got to work with the Eco Grande pots quite a bit this last year. We did try to do trials within our own garden, seeing how do plants perform. Everything performed great, and we do realize some people said, oh, if it's an area where they plant a lot of annuals, well, maybe the pot hasn't had enough time to fully break down, right?
Yeah.
But we also say, from the aspect alone of, think about all of the millions of black nursery containers that have gone straight to landfills versus these. Even if you don't plant the plant in the container into the ground or in the vessel, just taking the vessel and putting, or the eco grande pot, and putting in your compost and allowing it to break down, that's still improving our carbon footprint and things like that. So
And
even if it's not perfect yet, we have to start somewhere. So all we can do is embrace and support the people and the leaders that are moving in that direction, because just like computers, when they first came out, they weren't great. You could barely do anything with them. But now look, we have computers in our pocket. So if we continue to support and believe in these companies that are leading the charge, so to speak, I think it allows the opportunity through that support for them to continue to improve upon those concepts and ideas, to where eventually, maybe all pots and vessels or nursery containers are compostable. So
I think that day will come, and we're on the way.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
it's just a matter of when. Right?
Well,
Yes.
let's see where we are in 5 years.
Yes.
And I think you're right. I think we will see a lot more of that, because the consumer will demand it.
Yes.
For sure.
And that's what's going to drive it all.
Especially as the market for the plant world is getting younger and younger, as I think more of our generation, as we continue to become plant parents and getting into gardening, I think we're of that generation where we grew up in schools talking about how we can be more sustainable, how we can, do our part to minimize, carbon footprints and our waste. So I think it's all good things to come. We just have to be patient.
All right. I got one final question for both of you. What is one thing that people don't know about you that they should?
They should know that I am fully bilingual. Spanish is my native language, and we are actually getting ready to diversify our brand and start to release content in Spanish.
Yes.
So I'm going to be in front of the camera more and attending to our Hispanic community.
Yes.
That's beautiful, and it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
That's
very
awesome.
excited for that.
Yes. It's going to be great.
What about you, Joshua?
I mean, there's a lot that people don't really know about me, but I would say gardening is not my only creative outlet. I've been very fortunate, anything art related, and I think garden design is art. I love to draw, I play music, I play piano, I play trumpet, I play various different instruments, but I really enjoy just being in my creative mindset and in an element to where I can just let it flow freely and just see what comes out. It's not always good, but sometimes
great.
you find some great little nuggets in there here and there. But no, I think just how creative we both really enjoy being too. I mean, him as well. But I guess that would be one thing people don't know, is that I do play some instruments and I love to draw. I'm very artistic in that regard. In fact, I cut his hair even since COVID started. We're not going to take it off now because it's hat hair, but since COVID, I actually started cutting his hair. I've never cut hair before in my life, but I said it's the same as a topiary. It's no different than me trimming this spiral thing. I just look at it and make it look good. And and ever since then, I've been cutting his hair, and so
and now
that's
it's
another
like
creative outlet.
it's impossible for me to go somewhere else. I'm like, it's like making an appointment with him. So
But
That works out.
so I mean, just the level of creativity that I guess flows within us. And then the other thing I really enjoy is composing music myself. So melodies and music kind of flow through me, and I'll write it out and I record it and all of that. So
he
it's
actually wrote a song that we were supposed to play on our wedding, but then COVID happened and
it didn't
things
happen.
happen, and we end up getting married at the beach.
Yeah.
So
Who knows? They may come to light one day. All in due time. But I enjoy it. It's fun.
Very good. Well, this has been a wonderful conversation, and I think it was really cool to be able to do this in person too. We originally were going to do this kind of over video, but it worked out great, and we want to thank Proven Winners, the plant company, and
thank you so much.
Joy for allowing us to take over your space for a little bit, and you guys have been wonderful. We're going to be Josh and Jose have Ship My Plant store where they're going to be selling Leaf Joy products
Yes.
direct to consumer. So we're really excited about that.
We are,
Again, hey, thank you.
Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. We appreciate you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for having us on. This is great.
All right, and this is another episode of the Talking Ship podcast brought to you by ShipMyPlants.com.